Welcome, you guys. Welcome to everybody. Good to see you all here. Our speaker today is from Germany, which is part of the reason it's been fun to have this option with the quarantine to be able to have. Sorry, let me fix this really quick. To be able to have some speakers from around the world. That by changing the time to 10 a.m., we've been able to have people speaking to us from the UK, and today is from Germany, and it just opens up the time from the timing perspective, where we can bring in people that we normally wouldn't have had access to, or been able to share stuff with us. And I actually went looking for a speaker on Feng Shui like a year or two ago, back when it was actually a long time ago. It was when we were in our first space, the original space for Wisdom Soup. So that's how long ago it was. And I was trying to find somebody, and I looked and looked and looked and couldn't find anybody that I resonated with. And so I just kind of tucked it aside, kind of put it out there, and then finally she came. Here she is. And her name is Danijela, and I met her of course, just it just happened in what's the serendipitous way. She's a mutual friend, a friend of a friend, and she is phenomenal in her field, very well known in Germany. She's published 3 books with Random House, and as well as in all kinds of publications. And she has her own take on Feng Shui, which is exciting. So it's all about space healing. She calls it space healing. And it's about integrating the natural world into your space. And I think this is so important because I know, as I started down my healing journey, it's all about raising our vibrations. We're all trying to raise our vibration, which we do in a bunch of different ways. We do it through, clearing our blocks and when you've worked with Michael Sheridan, they always start, the dreams always start showing you what you're eating wrong, like clearing out the food that you're eating to raise your vibration. So there's sort of 2 ways to it. And there's the inside out, which is clearing our blocks, but there's also outside in. There's things that we can do on the outside that raise our vibration internally. And those, in my opinion, are some of the it's so simple. Why not do this simple thing that's going to have this impact on your vibration? So for me, that's cutting out dairy. But then there's also things that we can do, in our environment. And that's what Danijela is here to share her wisdom with us on that topic. So if you guys would help me to please welcome Danijela Saponjic. And I know I pronounced her name wrong, the last name. I apologize. You can maybe say it for us, Danijela.
And thank you so much for this introduction. And thank you so much for having me. So my last name is pronounced Saponjic. If you really want to, don't read the name, just listen to it. Don't worry about it. I'm so excited to have the possibility to share this wisdom with you, which is probably, as you just said, a different approach to the Feng Shui as we have known it until now. And before I dive into these principles, and I have prepared some really, really simple tips how you can raise the frequency and the energy in your home without going on a shopping tour and buying stuff and put it into your space. But first, let me introduce myself. Who am I and how did I become a Feng Shui master? So I studied business administration. And after I was 26, when I finished, I was a mother of 1 child, a son. And I was thinking, so up until this moment, my life was really planned. It was so planned that I even knew when I needed to become pregnant so that my son can be born like in the middle of the semesters, which I had, and then like I could continue studying. So this was how planned through I was. And when I finished my studies, I always say the masters of life, they didn't want me to finish in the corporate world. So they didn't give me a job. That's how I frame it today. Back then, it was just so terrible for me because everything, what I really worked hard to be and get in my life just fall apart. And I was so I fell so low that I started to work at a fast food restaurant because I thought I have to have a job. I don't care what it was. And I remember sitting down and going through a magazine and they were talking about clutter clearing and how clutter clearing can change your life and all these things. I mean, this was 2003. And I just thought, I don't believe them. How can something we change something in our environment And this is supposed to impact our lives. I couldn't believe it. And I like tossed it aside and I didn't think about it. But since things didn't get better, I told my husband, let's try it out because I want to prove them wrong. I know it's not working. So we did really declutter our small apartment. And the thing with clutter, I will speak a little bit more about it, is that clutter is not trash. It's just stuff we don't need, but don't know that we need it. So we cleared out a lot, and it was weekend. And on Monday, we got a yes for a new apartment, which we were waiting for, like, I don't know, for months to get clarity on that, to move to a bigger and nicer apartment in Munich. And the day after, we got this big payment from the government because I was like not really employed. And we were waiting for this money for a half a year. So it may be a coincidence, whatever. But for me, it was a clear sign that there is some power. And this is where I got curious about decluttering space. And this led me to Feng Shui. So with 26, I was studying Feng Shui with my Chinese master. And since then, I'm doing this work. So this is like very, very, like, how do you say it? Early call of destiny to step into my path and whatever I was supposed to do. And now I am a mother of 4 children, and we live in Germany, but we travel a lot. So at the moment, I'm in Croatia. That's why it's so dark, and I have a view at the Adriatic Sea, which is so beautiful. I love water. So this is where I'm at the moment. And today I want to touch, before we go into Feng Shui, I want to touch to energy. So as Anne said, you work with energy. This word is not unknown for you. So it's in, like, you know what it is, right? But now I want to narrow it down to how we use it in Feng Shui and in working with space. So I guess you know that there is not really good and bad energies. It's just a different frequency. And we in Feng Shui, we say we have space. There is left turning energy and right turning energy. So right turning energy supports life, and left turning energy is draining life. So if in our space we have a lot of left turning energy, because the qi, which is the life force energy used in the Taoistic practices, you have heard about qi if you ever did qigong, tai chi, or acupuncture, or anything related to this traditional Chinese medicine. Qi is the life force energy, and we have it also in Feng Shui. So we compare the space to a body. For us, or for me, the house or an apartment is a body with body parts. And the goal is to have the qi flowing through the whole body as the qi is flowing through our body. And when the qi doesn't flow anymore, it means we are dead. So, and the thing is that in space, very often qi cannot flow because of too much clutter. And then the space gets all this life-turning energy and is draining our energy. So just give me a thumbs up if this makes sense to you, so that I can, okay, perfect. Thank you, great. So the goal of Feng Shui is to see how can we balance this energy in our space. And the first thing is, of course, to give the qi, the life force energy, space to flow. I love to say, like, when the qi doesn't have space to flow, it's like when you cannot digest your food. You feel stuck, you feel bloated, like you just don't have energy. And then imagine our house being this big body which surrounds us most of the time. And if the energy is heavy, then it costs us so much more energy personally to keep our energy high and light. And now imagine how it would be if it would turn it around, if we would create an oasis of our space, which is nurturing us with energy. What a difference this would be. So I love to call this effect like the vampire effect, Because if the energy in the space is lower than yours, automatically you are going to like raise the energy of the space, because lower vibration always moves, no, the higher vibration moves to lower vibration. So you are nurturing your home with your personal energy, and it's draining you. So if we turn this around, then your home is going to lift you up. And this is the heart of the Feng Shui, how I'm teaching it, and how you can implement it. And I don't know if you have ever heard about Emoto, the message of water. You know, right? So I love his work because he has made energy visible. And the first thing, as I said, I will talk about decluttering also because it's a super important piece. But I also want to touch on this. So Emoto proved that water changes the structure according to the information we give to water. So if we say you're full, the crystal won't be a crystal, it will be something else. If we say I love you, the crystal will change. So I always say we humans are also made out of water, like 70 and 80%. So it does make a difference how we speak to each other and to ourselves, and also how the energy of the environment is. Because if the energy of the environment is, let's say, low or left turning, then our crystals cannot be clear and loving. And this is also how the energy impacts our lives. So I really, really love him because, as I said, he made energy visible to us. And we can also create this synchronicity and this connection between the space and the water we carry in our bodies. So the first thing is, if you want to move the energy in your home, is to open your heart to your home. And very often when I talk to clients, they're like, oh, I just today talked to one client. She said, I don't connect to my home. I don't like it. What kind of Feng Shui can we do that this energy shifts? And I told her, the first thing we can do is you need to shift the energy towards your home. If you keep on saying, I don't like my home, it's not a fit, it's this, or we can put like everything up we have in Feng Shui and change all the colors, but this energy will stay. So it depends on how you feel. Maybe we will have time afterwards to dive into your questions and like everything you want to share. But now just think about, how do you see your home? Is it a good friend, or is it just walls which keep you safe and dry and warm? Do you appreciate your home? Just imagine your home being a friend. So if we appreciate our friend will support us and like walk the path with us and be there for us. And if we don't appreciate our friend, he or she will just walk away. So appreciating your home means maybe saying hello when you come home and saying goodbye when you leave, and speaking into the energy of the space is going to shift the energy. So, for example, when we travel, we often travel for 6 weeks, especially in the summertime. Then I always go through my home and I'm like, okay, we won't be home for 6 weeks, but you know what? We are coming back. So don't worry. Please bear with us and keep our stuff safe. And I like paint this energetic container and I leave love at home. So when we come back after 6 weeks, I feel embraced and I feel so welcomed from our home and empowered. So these are these little things you can do to raise the energy and the frequency. Another thing which I love to recommend is bringing flowers or little presents to your home. For example, in my home in Germany, every Monday is flower day. So I buy flowers and place them everywhere. And it's my gift to the energy of the space, because I'm so grateful that this space is providing the energy and the power that I can grow my children, my family, my business. So everything is just held by this container. and I want to express my gratitude towards it. And as we know, gratitude has one of the highest vibration we can name, and love, of course, too. So now if you just like think about it, maybe now or later, what is my relationship with my space? And is there anything I can do to shift it or to raise the vibration? This is the first step I would recommend to start changing and bringing the chi into flow, because where energy goes, attention flows, right? And we don't need all these, in Feng Shui very often, this corner where you put some stuff and this corner where you put something. We can move the energy with our attention. Are there any questions so far? Like, I'm talking, I just want to stay connected. And do you see something, or I need to touch?
I think everybody is listening. If you guys do have questions, go ahead and drop them in the chat, or if there's any comments that you have, drop them in the chat, and then I can make sure that Danijela sees them. So the chat is open, so make sure you guys use that if you have anything you'd like to say. And if you want to just voice in, that's okay too, but the chat's always great.
Absolutely. Okay, perfect. Thank you. So now let's take it to the next step, which is clutter clearing. And the first thing when I talk about clutter clearing is I always tell everybody, be kind to yourself. I have seen so many people beating themselves up because they have accumulated this clutter and they feel bad and guilty and, you know, all these feelings. Instead of being kind, okay, I mean, I saw there is a lot of stuff and I'm ready to let go of it. And also, as I said, being kind to ourselves is the highest priority. And then the next step is always with clutter is to ask yourself, I have 3 questions how you can identify clutter. The first one is, do I need this, whatever it is, this item? Do I love it? And do I use it? So those 3 questions can help you to identify clutter very fast. My example is always like this cup. I don't love it, but I need it to drink my tea out of it, right? So, and then also especially things you don't love. So be it clothes or souvenirs or whatever stuff, especially with presents. How many presents you have in your home from relatives and friends where you go like, I have to keep this because when he or she visits me and sees that this is not there, it's like, you know, all these things we have carry in our heads. But this is clutter because it's draining your energy. You know, even the thought, it's draining your energy. So those questions will really help you. And then you can go through your home with a notepad and just like put everything down what you see without thinking, just put everything down. And then when you say, okay, now I'm ready, I'm going to take on the decluttering journey, then don't do your house in one weekend, because clutter clearing takes up a lot of your personal energy, not because of cleaning and clearing, it's because of the decision making and because we are connected emotionally to many of our things. So by letting go, we do give our energy away. We need to make decisions and all these things. So chunk down the space. So, and start with something really simple and something which won't take up a lot of your time. So sometimes even a drawer or the bathroom or like some really a cupboard or something. And then the goal is to get the energy flowing and you to get into the feeling that you've done something which released energy, which opened up energy. So everybody who's ever clutter cleared knows the feeling of going like, oh, it's gone and I feel so light, right? And we want to get this feeling to you as soon as possible. So building, right? Building. So you start with something really simple and then your chunk becomes bigger and bigger. So it's a clutter clearing is a process, and you go step by step, but you need also to take care that you're not clearing on the other, on one side, and the other side bringing stuff back into your space. So clutter clearing goes always with cleaning and being mindful of what do I really want to let come into my space. What is it? So we do need to make more conscious decisions instead of letting I don't know, sales and marketing and promotions and whatever lead us to buy things we don't need. And I do really believe that in having less, we are having more, because we are having more space for expansion. We are having more space in our heads, because you don't need to work. I mean, you have to rearrange and clean all these things which are at your home. And sometimes when I work with clients, especially ladies, which have a huge wardrobe, they're like, every evening I spend an hour deciding what I'm going to wear. Well, Pareto says in 20%, no, in 80% of our time, we wear 20% of our clothes we love. So we can, excuse me, we can get rid of 80% of the stuff we don't wear or just rarely wear, and save up time and open up space for new things to come. And so this is just one example, but it applies to every area of our lives. And also nature. So Feng Shui is all about nature. When the masters of Feng Shui started to develop this wisdom, they were sitting in nature and looking out and seeing what is nature doing and how it's behaving. And one of the nature's laws say that it says, every time when we free something up, nature will come to fill it up. So if you want, I don't know in what like place in your life you are, but for example, if you're a business owner and you would love to have more clients, then create a space of your clients for your clients. So if your calendar is full with appointments, being busy, the nature will go like, okay, I guess he or she doesn't have any space for a new client. And I remember once doing a consultation for an advertising agency, and the man who owned the agency, he said, we are not getting new clients and I have no idea why. And when we went through the agency, everything was really tidy. And that's the mean thing about clutter. It's not messy. Clutter is very often tidied up. And I just saw everything was full, like full with paper and folders. And I told him, if a new client would come, would you have enough space for the new folders you need for a client? And he went like, no. Okay, so let's create space. So that's what he did, and it really moved the energy. So what's clutter? Small chunks, and be careful of the things which come into your life and your home. And this will move the energy. That's like the second step I would recommend with you doing it. And before we move to Feng Shui, I would love to invite you for 2 minutes to do a simple exercise with me. I call it the butterfly exercise. And this exercise will help you to connect to your home. And maybe now, while I was talking, you, in your mind, you went through your home and like try to identify maybe the clutter. And with this exercise, you will sense where the clutter is, or maybe you will sense the areas where the life force energy is not flowing to, because whatever, it doesn't look nice, it doesn't have enough light or color or whatever. So yeah, I don't want to explain the exercise too much. So if you would like, just lean back and close your eyes for a minute. And I'm going to close my eyes with you because I love this meditation also. And take a couple of deep breaths. So to really connect to the chair where you're sitting at and to the space where you are spending your time at the moment. Really feel your body, knowing that you are held and protected. And now, in your mind, imagine that you are going to the front door of your home and stepping outside and standing in front of your house or your apartment. And now turn around and take a look at your entrance door. And as you're looking, you feel how you start to transform into a beautiful butterfly. You feel wings growing out of your back. And as they start to move, they start to lift you so that your feet don't touch the ground anymore. And then you really feel how you become this light butterfly, the playful one. Maybe you even see the color of your wings. And now let your door, the entrance door of your home, fly open. And with all the curiosity to see what is there, with these new eyes and new senses, you fly into your home. And you let your butterfly just fly and see what path is he or she taking. What way is it flying? Is there a place where the butterfly spends more time, lingers around, feels joy and playfulness? And is there a place where the butterfly doesn't even want to fly to? Just feel into it. Now it's not the time to question. It's just time to feel and to see your space from a completely different view. And maybe you want to let the butterfly also stay a little bit longer at one place. And just be receptive and feel if some information on words come through. But don't ask, just be receptive. And just take your time. And whenever you're ready to finish your flight through your home, whenever you're ready, that you feel, okay, the butterfly has made his rounds, has felt the home, you can simply return back to the front door and you feel your feet touching back the ground and the wings folding back, and you again feeling yourself sitting in the chair, knowing that you can always go back to your butterfly and fly through your home to sense what your home needs you to do. And whenever you're ready, take a deep breath and open your eyes. So maybe you want to take just like a minute or so, if there is something you want to write down, to do so, because it might help you later on.
That was interesting that I felt like that moving into the butterfly shape helped you to feel the energy. Like I noticed as I was flying through I was definitely drawn, like I became aware in butterfly shape that I have some lights that are burnt out in my entryway. And that's not great for the energy because it makes it feel dark, and there's no windows in the entry. And so so anyways, I became aware that I was more sensitive to the flow of the energy in that shape. That was cool.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. This is why I love this exercise so much, because it takes us out of our heads and into our feelings. So we don't start reason with the whys and the hows, but we just like feel. And then it can be so simple, like you just shared.
Yeah. Did anybody else have any new awarenesses from doing that? Karen says, my butterfly just wants to go back outside and feels overwhelmed. Yes. Maybe that decluttering part might help.
Yeah. And even there, if this feeling is so strong, like, oh, just like, let go. I fly out again. Again, the steps, appreciating your home, acknowledging it as it is, and then moving into the energy, and again, doing the butterfly exercise. Like when you start shifting the energy of the home with your thoughts, then every now and then do the butterfly exercise, and you will see that the butterfly will change its behavior. It will stay longer. And so it's just a step-by-step approach.
Perfect. Shelley says, Susan is decluttering as she's listening. So she's clearly inspired.
Oh, yeah.
And Shelley says, I started cleaning earlier as well. I think we're all going to clean our houses after this. And Jen says, I felt confirmation that the walls we recently removed has truly created more flow. It's comfortable now. Oh, that's great. You did some remodeling. That's super cool.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's really perfect. Yeah. And I mean, as I said, we are 6 people in our home, and my children want to have a dog now. So I don't know if I'm going to do this one, but so clutter comes like somehow with the kids. And this process is just a part of my life. And sometimes I just grab like a box or something and put everything in there, what's lying around. And then I sit on the floor, and then I categorize those stuff. Okay, this needs to go there. This is broken. This is trash. This goes to welfare, or just like categorizing and then giving it away. And then she's like, yeah, good. Okay. And then it takes a month, and then I have to do it again, but it doesn't matter. Like, that's how it is.
And we also had Martha mention that she felt comfortable in the halls in the family room, but other rooms needed some decluttering. So it brought her awareness to areas where she had some clutter. Yeah, which was cool. And Karen said she felt like when they removed one wall in her entry, that actually was a mistake and brought the onslaught, she said.
What did it bring in?
That she said she removed a wall, that she felt like that removing that wall brought in more of a feeling of overwhelm into the space.
Oh, okay. I never heard this word. Okay.
No, onslaught. Yeah. The word onslaught means it brought a deluge. And I never thought about it until this class, actually. But our house is very small, and there was a little tiny wall that was close in. And we wanted more space to dance around, or to open up the table, because our dining room table is right there, because our house is small. And I think that's where it became the beginning of when the entry was always cluttered.
Oh, that's interesting.
Very interesting. Do we have an idea how you can close this space a little bit?
That's a good question. Build back a half wall again would be one thing, but I have to think more creatively on an easier way to do that right now. Mm-hmm. That's a good thing.
If you put up a screen or a divider, something very beautiful, then you can create this wall, and you can still stay flexible, because when you need more space to dance, you just put it away, and otherwise it just stays there.
Yeah, Jen is suggesting an open back bookshelf might work.
Yeah.
Oh, that just will allow me accumulate more places for my books, which are hard to let go of.
That's a good thing. Mary says she has a lot of furniture to give away to clear up space. And Wendy Edwards is saying that her upper loft has a view of both the front and the back, so needs something different or something for sitting arrangement that's different. So it's cool. It sounds like everybody's having just much more awareness about where the energy is flowing.
Yeah, that's so great, because I cannot see into your homes, but you can. We just needed to change the view a little bit, and that's the most important thing. So if you felt somewhere, if there's space where your butterfly didn't want to fly to, but it's not cluttered, you're like, I don't really understand why, then it's probably because the chi is not flowing to this space. So if there is a room or a space where you don't like to go, or where you're not using a room because the house is too big, then usually the chi doesn't flow there either. Sometimes we need to install some chi attraction points. And chi attraction points is usually light, something colorful, or pictures, paintings, or something like this. So the chi in the space, you can imagine it being like a child, very curious, and only going to places where it's fun and beautiful and open and interesting, and not going into dark spaces or there is clutter or something like this, like a child. And it loves flowing out of the window. So usually if you have a entrance door and on the other side you just see a window, it might be that the chi just flows through the window and is gone. So what this means, we need to attract the chi into the space before it sees the window. So it's like guiding it. Hey, come, let's go this direction, and let's go this direction, and especially guiding it to the place where you're working and sleeping, because that's where when we work, we spend a lot of time at the same place, and we need to have life force energy to stay focused, clear, and fresh. Nobody wants to feel tired after working 8 hours. We still have a life beside our work. So this is going to help you to stay powerful. And the other thing with sleeping, this area is so important because we spend so much of our time sleeping, and it's not just sleeping, it's rejuvenating. And we want to have life force energy in the bedrooms so that we can really fill up with energy to be strong for the next day. So just when you maybe again do the butterfly exercise, or maybe you have already sensed it, make sure to, as I said, chi attraction points are colors and pictures and paintings and light, especially to guide the energy to your bedroom, for example. And the bedroom is always, it's one of the most important rooms in Feng Shui, because it also stands for our relationship, and it's the rejuvenating part. And also when we open our eyes in the morning, that's when our conscious mind is sleeping and we open our eyes. And I know one of my teachers, she always said, the thing you see the first when you open your eyes in your bedroom, this is going to create your life. And it's so interesting. So when you open up your eyes and you see work, just check if the work part is like a big part in your life. Or when you see, I don't know, in Germany, very often in bedroom we have, because the space is very limited, the bedroom is always used as a laundry. So ironing and like everything. And I'm like, oh, that's the most important space of your apartment. You cannot do your laundry here. And then very often the people feel very overwhelmed with the household. So just be mindful of that. So when you open up your eyes, the bedroom should be, even when you enter the bedroom, it's like letting go of everything of your day, not taking anything. It doesn't matter. I don't want to go into this thought and mind piece, because I'm sure you have a lot of information about this, but just how the space, so creating a space where you enter, and just imagine going through a waterfall, and you enter your bedroom and this waterfall is cleaning everything, and you are just there in your purity. And this is where you rejuvenate and get back your energy And this is truly the hidden power where we create our lives. So if you have a vision board, having it in the bedroom is really a very good place. Not at work, because at work we have million thoughts in our head. I mean, who is thinking about the vision when you are like handling all these things? But the bedroom, that's when you are fresh in the mornings, and in the evenings you have left everything, the day behind you. That's when you are the mostly open. And it's a great Chi attraction point, by the way. So think about this.
You know, just to support that, I remember reading that, I think it was someone like, it was either Jim Carrey or I think it was Jim Carrey, who talked about how he made a promise to himself that he was going to earn a certain amount, like some crazy amount. And he put it on he wrote a check to himself and put it up on the ceiling right above his bed, so that when he would wake up every morning, he would see it. And then that exact thing actually manifested. It was either him or Jack Campbell, the guy who wrote Chicken Soup for the Soul. It might have been him. One of the two put it on the ceiling right above the bed, and then that exact amount is what specifically, like, it was like either did a movie that came in at that exact number or whatever it was. But the placement, I thought, was confirming what you're saying.
Oh, I didn't know about this, but yes, definitely, absolutely. So. And another thing, so the last thing I wanted to share with you is to create a heart point in your home. And the heart point is the most important energy center we have also in our bodies, right? And in our houses too. So when we go back into like ancient, our ancestors, I know at least in Europe, or for my grandmother also, they always had like a little altar. And what I'm talking about now has nothing to do with religion. An altar can be like something in the heart point should be somewhere in the center of the house. So find a wall, a cupboard, somewhere a nice place where you can like create this energy center, which holds the energy of your space. And there is nothing certain you have to put up there. There doesn't have to be a Buddha because it's Feng Shui or something else. It's completely, Feng Shui has nothing to do with religion. And my grandmother, now she is 87, and like 15 years ago, she called me once and she said, "Danijela, I hear you are doing this Chinese thing, but are you changing your religion? Are we going to celebrate Christmas?" And I'm like, "Yes, don't worry. All is fine. We will." So as I said, Feng Shui is coming from a Taoist philosophy of life and not from Buddhism or Hinduism or something. So it's completely unrelated. And that's the reason why creating a heart point is really creating this altar where when you enter your home, and when you in the mornings when you come down, that's the place where you connect to the soul of your space. This is where you feel your home. This is maybe when you do the butterfly exercise next time, where you linger a little bit longer and ask your space and the soul of your space, like, is there anything I can do for you today? Or maybe you exchange thought like, oh, I feel this space needs something. Dear soul of the house, tell me, what can I do to raise the energy? Or if you had a fight in your home, you can always go and say, what needs to be done to release this energy, to shift the energy, right? So this is really such a powerful place. And as I said, you can create it however you want. And usually it's when you create the space for it and be open, the things which belong there will come to your hands. It's not about going on a shopping tour and buying stuff. It will just arrive. And as I said, I'm in Croatia, and I always create a little altar in every hotel room. And when I was walking, I found this little stone. It doesn't seem like this, but it looks like a little heart. So, and I have a candle in this heart. So this is my altar for my space here. So just stay open. And very often, I know people love to put family pictures if it fits there, and maybe a little candle and whatever. So you choose. And so by doing those things, connecting to your home, shifting the home with your, shifting the energy of your home with your thoughts, acknowledging your home, and even, let's say, bringing presence to your home is the one side. And then decluttering is making space. And by creating the heart point, you are anchoring this healing energy in your space. So when you do this, you have like 50% of Feng Shui implemented in your home without putting anything in your home what you don't like to have. Because very often clients ask me, like, when I do Feng Shui, does it look like very Asian? Like, no, it doesn't. It doesn't have to. So yeah, this is like what I prepared for you today. And now I would love to like have your questions, answer your questions, and see how I can support you further.
I love the suggestion, because I've always heard about Feng Shui as being like you have to put a mirror here to reflect the energy, and you have to work with the different elements and all of those things. But there's just this simple guidance of thinking about it like a child, and imagining coming into your space, like imagining chi energy as childlike energy, and how do you draw it, and where is it curious? And that I mean, that is such a helpful, just one perspective shift that helps you to imagine what the energy in your house feels like. That makes a lot of sense.
And it is, I mean, we do work with elements and with everything what you just said, but it's too complicated to share. So that's the reason why so many people are confused with Feng Shui, like, oh, if I put a mirror here, is it right? And this color, and it creates all these like confusion. And with this approach, you start with the spiritual level of Feng Shui, and then you can fine tune it on this like elemental level.
Mm-hmm. Mary is asking, what is the role of mirrors?
So with mirrors, I really use them. I don't use them very much because they're very powerful. So if they are placed, for example, the chi enters our home through the entrance door. And if you place a mirror opposite the entrance door, the mirror is going to reflect the chi out of the door. So there is no chi in your home, right? So you just need to be aware where you place it. So usually on the side wall somewhere, so not in the direct line. And mirrors are often also used to create more space. So if you have narrow buildings or even missing parts of your home, so you use the mirrors to open up the space.
And Wendy's asking, Wendy Witt, she says, when we walk into our home, there's a set up of stairs to the main living area. How can we make the energy healthy in that area?
In the living area?
So she walks into the home, and then there's a set of stairs that she goes up to the main living area. And she's wondering how to make the energy healthy in that area.
So the living area represents also our boundaries with family and communication. And the best way, again, is here it's a yang room, so it's active energy. So if you place like playful colors or something active and bright and beautiful, so making this living room inviting for family to gather to support their communication, this is the best way how to create healthy energy there.
Okay, cool. And then she says, she says right in front of the door. I've heard of people using mirrors, like if their house is like one of the houses I bought years ago was placed so that I didn't know it because we bought it in the daytime. But when we moved in and lived there, the first night that we were there, we realized there was a T intersection where the cars drove up, and it wasn't right in front of our house, but because of the angle of the street, that headlights would come in and shine into the living room as the car went by. And I've heard that if you have, like, if you're at the end of a street and cars are approaching your house, you can put a mirror there to deflect negative energies or whatever. I've heard of people I've seen sometimes outside of people who are Chinese out of their home, they'll have a mirror kind of facing the street. Can you explain that a little bit?
Yeah, so the mirror is mirroring back. We call it Shachi energy. So it's like this aggressive energy coming towards your house and like attacking your house. So why I don't like to put mirrors there is then I am mirroring back attacking energy. I'm not absorbing it. So it is a possibility, but I like working with bushes and flowers or something. It doesn't have to be big, little small. So this is absorbing the energy. So it's not reflected back, but it's also not harming you and your home.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. Jen says she has a mirror facing, she's got a problematic neighbor to reflect his energy back to him.
Yeah, you can use that definitely. And also there work with the great thing is that we in Feng Shui also work with nature. So if there is a tree or bushes or any plants between you and your neighbor, you could also talk to the plants and say, could you please support me here? Can you please put up a screen or a shield, so that we are not attacked. So I feel attacked. So please help me to mirror back this energy. And the plants and the trees, they're going to help you. But of course, you can use the mirror there.
Yeah. Yeah. Perfect. So what about in terms of, are there any specific colors that you would recommend for different spaces in the house?
Mm-hmm. So with colors, they are also always connected to the sides of the world, like south, east, north. I forgot the name for them, but you know what I mean. So for example, if you have a south room, which is in the south is fire. So you would always be mindful of having this room painted in blue, because blue is water and the fire, they are in conflict with each other. So that's where you would create a very explosive energy. So for example, it's more connected to these areas of the earth than to what we do in this home. So it's, the colors in Feng Shui are quite complicated. I want to give you something really simple to start with working. So in the south area, or also in the bedrooms, we love to use the earth element. The earth element is everything what's brown, like from yellow to dark brown, all the colors, and they are very they are grounding you, and they are also taking away the fire from the south, so that it doesn't burn. So too much fire can also sometimes cause aggressive energy. So we want to ground it. For example, in the north, I love to use green. Green is connected to the wood, and wood absorbs water so that it can grow. So sometimes in the north areas, if it's a cold area anyways because of the energy, and then if you have it blue or even gray, it just gets colder and colder. And if we put in wood, like any color of green, we absorb the water energy and we bring more yang and warm energy into this area.
That makes a lot of sense. So then having one cohesive color through your house, you'd have to have a little variety in each space to bring in those elements, to bring in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, feel into it. And also it's also important just to see the yin and the yang. So in the yang space, which is living room, kitchen, dining room, entrance area, the children's room also, you would love to have powerful colors. It doesn't have to be a lot of colors, but as I said, like a green, a red, or sometimes also a blue, because they are enhancing and powerful energies. And in the area where you sleep, and the yin rooms, if you have a meditation or a yoga room, then you want to have more earth energy, more grounding energy, deeper colors, so that they ground you and don't get you overexcited when you need to go to sleep.
Great. Yeah, Jen just says that she's been trying to decide between green and blue paint colors, so this is helpful.
Good. Perfect.
So what would you ever use fire colors in a room? Because you mentioned using sort of earth colors, but would you ever deliberately put in fire type colors? I'm assuming that would be reds.
Yes, it would be reds. And if it suits, and if a client likes it, I would do it, but I would be very cautious with the quantity. I would never ever paint a room in red. I would pick one wall, or even just a painting of red on a white wall, or have some decorations in red, because red is like the strongest yang energy we have, and it can be very overwhelming with time.
I think you have a red wall in your hotel room behind you, don't you?
Yes, it's everything is red. That's the reason I need not much sleep, and I can work for hours and not feel exhausted.
Maybe a little red in our office is a good thing then. I actually have my meditation chair is red, believe it or not. The chair that I use for all my stuff is red and floral. But
well, maybe that's the energy you need. If it feels good for you, if it feels good for you, that's the most important thing.
Yeah. It's a super cheerful. I'll show you the pattern. It's very cheerful. It's bright red.
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
So, Martha says she likes red and rugs. Karen is asking, how about yellow and purple? What do they signify?
So purple is the color of transformation, right? So, and purple is the connection between fire and water. So when you mix red and blue, you get purple. Did I have the right? Yeah, it's so, and then yellow is again, is it yellow? Was it yellow?
Yellow.
Yeah. Okay. So and yellow is grounding. So it's in the cycles of the 5 elements. It's really water, and then it nurtures wood, and out of wood you get fire, and fire nurtures the earth. So having this connection, because you connect with purple, all these colors like the water, the wood, and the fire, and then you bring it to the earth. So it's really nice to have this combination.
The 2 colors, yellow and purple, are very positive together. Then that's awesome. Mm-hmm. They're lovely complementary colors too.
Yes. Absolutely.
I'm imagining color theory probably lines up beautifully with Feng Shui, just naturally.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah.
Fantastic. So, Danielle, is there any other questions? If there's any other questions for Daniela, please put them in the chat, and I'll share them with her. But Daniela, how can people find out more about your work, and where should I direct them to learn more about you and what you do?
Mm-hmm. So we have, I of course have a website where you can go on, and I also created some checklists in regards to decluttering. So it's also on my website. I will share this link to you with you, so that you can really just go there and get those checklists. And if somebody's like, oh, I'm ready to declutter, I don't need a checklist, I need guidance. We just released today my 6-week decluttering program. I call it Decluttering and Beyond, because I'm weaving all this knowledge, which I shared with you today, also into this class. And we just released it today. So I will share the link, and then you can just take a look and see what's a fit for you.
Perfect. And you have the website, I think you said before. Let me put it in the chat now. Can you tell me the website name again?
It's soulandspace.com.
Hold on just a second. It's soul and space?
Yes, .com.
Okay, perfect. There you guys go. All right, Daniela, thank you so much. This has been great. I definitely came away with, I'm going to have I think my whole afternoon, I've just changed what I'm going to be doing. Number 1 is light bulbs. I'm going to go get light bulbs. So I think we're all going to be decluttering the rest of the day. Karen says, me too. I know. So thank you so much. This has been really helpful. If somebody was raising their hand, Wendy says, fabulous. Thank you. Fantastic. Karen says, me too. Mary says, thank you. So thank you so much. We really appreciate it. We're sending you lots of love over there in Germany.
Thank you so much. Yes. Thank you so much. I so appreciate you. And thank you for being here. And now let's get to work.
Yes, exactly. Thanks so much, everybody. We'll see you guys again first Thursday or second Thursday of next month. See you again for Wisdom Soup. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.